Dragon Ball GT is like that weird cousin in the Dragon Ball family, full of nostalgia, packed with epic transformations. Come on, Super Saiyan 4 is just insane, and a soundtrack that sticks in your head to this day. I've honestly lost count of how many times I've sung it in the shower. But even with all that, the series took a serious beating from critics and hardcore fans alike. Some people love it, others hate it, and there are those who just want to figure out what the heck actually happened. So buckle up, because today we're revisiting Goku's entire GT journey, from the moment he turned into a kid again to facing off against the villain Baby, battling the 7 Shadow Dragons, and finally vanishing with Shenron in one of the most emotional and mysterious endings in the entire franchise. Hit that subscribe button and let's go! At the Sacred Temple, Goku and Oob were wrapping up a training session that felt like a throwback to the days when Frieza was still a real menace. Sweat, punches, and pride, Oob was finally ready. But just as the master was bidding farewell to his disciple, 3 not-so-missed characters were hatching a brilliantly dumb plan: Pilaf, Mai, and Shu. The trio had stumbled upon the Black Star Dragon Balls. Yep, yet another set. Because apparently the Dragon Ball universe has an unlimited supply. These beauties, created before Kami split into 2, were supercharged with ancient energy powerful enough to blow up the planet if not gathered within a year. Wonderful. And of course, Pilaf decided to summon Shenron from the temple's basement to do what? Take over the world? Nope. He freaked out at the sight of adult Goku and, like a tantrum-throwing kid, wished him back into a child. Genius. In an instant, the universe's greatest warrior was now a big-headed kid. His strength? Intact. His body? Preteen. The problem? Unimaginable. King Kai popped in, more frantic than a motivational speaker with no audience, and warned, if the Dragon Balls aren't collected within a year, Earth turns to space dust. Mr. Popo confirmed it with his disturbingly calm demeanor. The doomsday countdown had begun. Meanwhile on Earth, Pan was going about her daily routine as a superpowered teenager, which of course included taking down criminals on a date. The result? Her boyfriend bolted faster than Yamcha in a serious fight. Then she stumbled upon Mini Goku. Her reaction? Mild shock. Chi-Chi, on the other hand, went full-blown drama queen, mixing rage, despair, and mom mode panic. Gohan considered just waiting for his dad to grow up again, until King Kai reminded them that, yeah, there's a ticking timer on the whole planet thing. Thanks to one childish wish, Pilaf had turned Earth into an intergalactic scavenger hunt, and the prize was simple: survival. With the doomsday clock ticking, Goku, Pan, and Trunks set off on an intergalactic mission to retrieve the Black Star Dragon Balls, a clunky old pod that looked like it belonged in a junkyard. The crew: a retired 12-year-old, a punch-happy teenager, and a Trunks who's fed up with being company president. Chaos was inevitable. Their first stop was a planet ruled by a dictator who taxed the very air they breathed. Then came a catfish monster with seismic powers, a village duped by phony fortune tellers, and a string of space traps that felt straight out of a sitcom. That's when Giru entered the picture, a cheeky little robot who swallowed the dragon radar and self-appointed himself as the team's official GPS. At first, he seemed like a total traitor, but in the end, he became part of the gang, even if he's basically a mix of Alexa and a power drill. Goku and Trunks were trying to deal with Muchi, a lunatic armed with whips and a bizarre power to control objects that felt straight out of a low-budget telekinesis flick. Everything was chaotic, per usual, until Daltaki made his grand entrance. This guy was the head priest of the Church of Ludism, a cult that basically worshipped a giant robot. And like any true fanatic, he took things way too far, turning all his followers into dolls. That's right, loyal believers transformed into toys to feed their so-called god of destruction, Lude. Pan became Daltaki's favorite collectible, literally. Turned into a doll and treated like a deluxe Barbie, Goku's granddaughter was trapped in a living nightmare. Meanwhile, the temple lit up with a sinister screen revealing the true puppet master, Dr. Mew. The most deranged scientist in the galaxy was the real mind behind Lude, who in truth was a bioengineered mutant with a hunger for life energy. Realizing that Pan was a compact powerhouse wrapped in plastic, Mew ordered her absorption. And when Daltaki tried to show a hint of emotion, Mew tossed him in too. With Pan now part of him, Lude grew stronger than ever. While Goku and Trunks struggled outside, the real villain laughed from the shadows. And yes, he still had plenty more monsters hiding in the closet. Inside Lude, Pan had the misfortune of sharing space with Daltaki. The lunatic otaku was now just another talking doll trying not to die. He revealed a secret. There was a red core in Lude's chest that, if destroyed simultaneously from the inside and outside, would bring the whole thing down. Outside, Goku and Trunks were facing a supercharged Lude, clumsy like a giant child child with superpowers. Pan needed to get a message out. Enter the Para brothers, who, bizarre as they were, could transmit thoughts through choreography. Yes, salvation would come via dance. Problem was, Goku had the rhythm of a refrigerator. The usual countdown didn't work. The solution: food. Pan swapped numbers for Japanese dishes. Gyudon, tendon, oyakodon became their new battle chant. In the end, Goku and Pan strike together, from outside and inside, and blow up the red core. Lude turns to cosmic dust, and the victims are freed. Of course, Daltaki managed to escape, and now Dr. Mew knew exactly who he was dealing with. With the third Dragon Ball in their possession, the group lands on a desert planet where everything seems determined to kill them. Trunks works on repairing the ship. Goku takes watch duty. And Pan? She's been demoted to background extra. Ignored, underestimated, and nearly sent back home, she finally snaps. She storms off alone into the desert to prove she's not dead weight. But Giru finds her, and surprise, he also finds a Dragon Ball hidden in an oasis. Meanwhile, Dr. Mew shows no patience for failure. He executes Daltaki without blinking. Now he wants Goku, Trunks, and Pan alive. They're more valuable in one piece. Rescued by Giru, Pan has her character arc moment. Goku and Trunks show up, apologize, and scrap the plan to send her home. Pan is now officially part of the team. During a break in their journey, Giru started acting weird, like he was under some kind of digital possession. He said he wanted to go back home. Trunks, soft-hearted as ever, agreed to swing by Planet M2. Congratulations. They walked straight into a trap. Rildo was waiting for them. The metallic planet looked more like a sci-fi movie set straight out of an alien invasion flick. Giru plugged into a strange structure and was welcomed by a bunch of clones, praised like a national hero. But the truth came out. Giru was never just a travel companion. He was DB4649T2RS, a spy planted by Dr. Mew. His mission: lead Goku and the others right into the ambush. By the time he came clean, it was already too late. Rildo and his troops had the team surrounded. Gas filled the air. Goku and Trunks collapsed. Pan held out a bit longer, but she was captured too. Giru watched silently. The plan had gone off without a hitch. Goku and Trunks were already down, captured like living trophies by the enemy. The only piece left on the board was Pan, and she was the one they never saw coming. Neck deep in hostile territory and surrounded by robots, she was crafting a bold plan, driven not by courage, but by sheer stubbornness laced with revenge. At the heart of the metallic lair, a bizarre ceremony was underway. Giru, or rather DB4649T2RS, was being awarded medals and praise from General Rildo, as if he were some twisted employee of the month. He'd done the dirty work, collected 3 Dragon Balls, delivered 2 Saiyans on a silver platter, and even took snapshots along the way. A true hero, at least to the robots. To Pan, he was a Judas with screws. Hidden in the shadows, she watched the scene, biting down the urge to scream. The machine she once called a friend was now the golden boy of a cybernetic tyrant. But that heartbreak didn't weaken her. It fueled her. Meanwhile, science was failing to decode Pan. The sensors couldn't gauge her power, triggering a silent alarm. But Dr. Mew was adamant. No eliminations for now. As if betrayal wasn't enough, Giru revealed his ace. He had stored the hero's battle data. This meant the Mega Cannon Sigma could predict every move, as if they had read the script in advance. On paper, they were unbeatable. But theory went out the window the moment Pan, disguised and in full ninja mode, slipped past the robots. Of course, not everything went as planned. She ended up in the disposal room, home to rejected bots, where she met a defeated, talking automaton who shared a grim truth. The entire planet was a sham. Its people had been replaced by mechanical mutants crafted by Mew. That revelation gave Pan the missing piece. Goku was on the top floor. She bolted, setting off every alarm in the place. Identified, located, top priority target. The Sigma squad was deployed. Nato got the order to take her down. After all, they had her instruction manual. What danger could she pose? The fight began predictably. Every move Pan made was anticipated, every strike countered. But then, something snapped. Giru's betrayal wasn't just tactical, it was personal. And when Pan hit the ground, tears rolled down her cheeks, not from pain, but from rage. The power surge was raw and explosive. The script was torn to shreds, and Nato, once smug, became a cautionary tale. There's no data to predict pure emotion. Pan won, and proved once and for all, it's not logic that drives a hero. Pan stormed into the laboratory. What she found was a nightmare. Goku and Trunks unconscious, treated like lab rats by machines that laughed laughed as if they had souls. And at the center of it all, Giru, not as an ally, but as a disposable tool, a chip with legs. When Goku opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was his granddaughter surrounded. That was all it took. Without a word, his aura exploded. The pain of betrayal, Pan's desperation, the helplessness over Trunks. It all became fuel. The Sigma units, armed with up-to-date data, moved with cold precision. They dodged every blow, countered with surgical accuracy. After all, they had everything on file, but they overlooked one thing. Goku doesn't follow scripts. He improvises. The Sigma fusion created the Super Mega Cannon Sigma, a machine capable of flight, tunneling, and transformation, a combat monstrosity. But Goku set urgency aside and watched. "I've got it all figured out," he said with that classic smirk. Suddenly, no amount of data was enough. He moved so fast the sensors couldn't keep up. The Kamehameha that ended the fight left no room for doubt. This wasn't just a win. It was a message. The air grew heavy. The approaching ki was suffocating. Rildo appeared with the confidence of someone well aware of his own superiority. And it wasn't arrogance. It was fact. Trunks launched a lightning-fast attack. In an instant, he was turned to metal and shipped off to Dr. Mew. Just like that. Goku didn't even have time to scream. Trunks had already become part of the lab's decor. The battle began. Rildo was tactical, deadly, and clever. He used the planet as an extension of his own body. Every wall became a strike, every floor a trap. The other Sigma units returned to the scene, and the battlefield turned into a steel inferno. Goku responded in kind. Rildo noticed.
"New and improved, and the factory inspected."
Goku obliged, but Rildo also had a card up his sleeve. His ultimate form, Hyper Meta Rildo, a colossus that made the Super Sigma look like toys. Far away, Mew laughed. Trunks was only the first. He wanted them all. After the battle, Rildo seemed defeated. Goku prepared to finish him off with one last Kamehameha, but Rildo shielded himself using a strange new form. Meanwhile, Pan, isolated in the living tower, was tested at every turn. The walls shifted, redirected, and swallowed up any attempt to move forward. Deep within the maze, a panicked scientist revealed the secret. The tower housed a machine that turned people into metal parts. That's what they had done to Trunks. The security system was still active. Moving forward was suicide. Outside, Goku uncovered the truth. Rildo was the planet. Every punch exchange with Goku made the ground tremble, as if the entire world were on the brink of collapse. Deep underground, Dr. Mew treated Trunks like a trophy, a collector of lives. Pan, determined, forced the truth out of the scientist. She finally reached Giru and found more mystery. He held one of the Dragon Balls, but he was hiding more than he let on. Pan confronted Giru, and the truth came out. He wasn't a traitor. He'd been following a secret plan from Trunks all along. When Goku turned into a metal plate, Pan panicked, but it was all an act. The Trunks plate was a fake, crafted by Giru to fool Dr. Mew. While the villain smiled in triumph, Trunks was already infiltrating the system. Now, with his memories fully restored, Giru remembered Mew's real plan, to create a monster that would surpass all previous mutants. That's why the deception. That's why the silence. Inside the lab, Giru flipped the script. He sabotaged the system, cut the power, and revealed his true allegiance. Trunks, Pan, and Goku. They were his family, and he wouldn't betray them, not even under torture. Mew was stunned, betrayed by his own robot, but he still had one last card to play, or so he thought. Trunks made his way to the most heavily guarded room in the base. There, Mew's darkest secret, the one he'd gone to such lengths to protect, would finally be revealed, and what he found was just the beginning of something far, far worse. Suspended in a capsule submerged in a luminous liquid, Baby lay dormant, a genetic abomination unlike anything the universe had ever seen. No villain before had come close to matching that monstrosity. Dr. Mew, now desperate, realized his greatest creation had been unveiled too soon. Trembling, he begged for forgiveness as if speaking to a god, but it was too late. Trunks had no choice but to reveal the truth. Baby was a neo-machine mutant, born from the fusion of energy harvested across the galaxy, including the power absorbed from Lude, created with one singular goal, ultimate domination. It was a bold plan. Mew intended to conquer the universe, starting with Earth, and Baby would be his ultimate weapon. That's when Giru stepped forward, revealing his role in this puzzle. His memory loss hadn't been a coincidence. As they approached the planet, everything had returned. His mission, his memories, and the terror he was meant to stop. That was why he and Trunks were investigating leaving this place. But even cornered, Mew made his final move. He drained all of the lab's energy to awaken Baby, and he succeeded. Without any mechanical support, the creature began to move. This wasn't just an experiment. It was hatred in its purest form. As it opened its eyes, it spat a single word, dripping with venom: Saiyans. The fury in its voice made even Goku recoil. The group acted fast. Before Baby could complete his transformation, they attacked. For a moment, it looked like they'd won. The capsule exploded and Baby fell motionless. Mew tried to flee, but Pan was ready to end it then and there. Trunks stopped her. With the ship repaired, it was time to leave. But the victory was just an illusion. As they escaped, Mew burst into laughter, convinced that Baby could be recreated endlessly. That's when a cold voice interrupted him. Baby was alive. And more than that, Mew had never been the creator. He was the puppet. From the very beginning, Baby had been in control. Mew had been programmed to gather energy and hasten the resurrection of the true master. Now useless, the scientist was cast aside without mercy, and Baby made a vow. The Saiyans would die. That planet would become the graveyard of the warrior race. The M planet was now behind them, but the threat still lingered. Giru had outdone himself. Not only was the ship fully operational again, it looked brand new. For a brief moment, there was peace, but that peace was crushed. An invisible force dragged them back. It was Rildo, driven by sheer loyalty to a creator who wasn't even real. He had generated artificial gravity to stop their escape. His final act of devotion. Exhausted, Goku and the others gathered the last of their strength and shattered the gravitational prison through sheer force. Once free in space, relief washed over them. But it didn't last. Goku was starving, as usual, but Giru quickly diverted attention. He had detected a Dragon Ball aboard a drifting ship. The vessel was in ruins, but not from the outside. Something had grown inside it, devouring everything from within. To make matters worse, it was being pulled into a nearby star. Time was running out. Pan refused to leave without checking. Her instinct paid off. She found a boy, unconscious and hooked up to life support, hidden in an isolated corner. With seconds to spare, Goku launched a Kamehameha to propel their ship, narrowly escaping annihilation. The boy was taken to Planet Vidal, a high-tech medical hub. Doctors managed to stabilize him while Goku faced his own personal nightmare: needles. He even tried to make a run for it, but the real danger was already aboard. The boy woke up, and with him, the true threat emerged. Baby had infiltrated them, using a human body as a disguise. He planned to possess the Saiyans, one by one. His first target stood right before him, Trunks, and without warning, the takeover began. During his recovery, he had taken control of Mew. Then, he used Rildo as a puppet. Each new host was just a stepping stone in his evolution. Curious about Planet Vidal's medical advancements, Trunks agreed to visit the lab. Isolated, he became an easy target. That's when Baby struck. Dropping all disguises, he revealed his true form and tried to absorb Saiyan energy. But Goku, suspicious from the start, had set a trap. When Baby walked right into it, the battle began. The parasite's plan was clear. Use the Dragon Balls as bait. Let the heroes gather them all, then steal everything in one swoop. During the fight, Baby did the unthinkable. He infiltrated Trunks' body. For a brief moment, he tasted Saiyan power like never before. But Trunks didn't give in. He fought with everything he had. His sheer will shattered the possession. Too weakened, Baby was forced out of his body. He fled, but took something priceless with him: the certainty that this power was addictive, and knowing exactly where to find it. That was the gift he carried away. As Goku pressed on, confident the threat had been neutralized, Baby had already set foot on Earth, silent, calculating. He searched for the ideal host, and here, on the Saiyans' home planet, there were plenty. Goten was on his first real date, nervous, doing his best to impress Pallas, the girl he liked. A moment of peace, shattered by the arrival of chaos. Baby emerged onto the streets. Mr. Satan, ever the spotlight seeker, tried to face the intruder. He was crushed, but his failure drew the attention of someone who truly mattered. Goten sensed the twisted key. He stepped in, and in a head-on clash, he seemed to have the upper hand, but Baby had learned from Trunks. He waited, faked weakness, and the moment Goten unleashed his full power, he struck. Total possession. Goten didn't stand a chance, and through his body, Baby inherited his memories. He discovered Gohan and Vegeta, and recognized the true prize, the Prince of all Saiyans. Pallas noticed the change. Goten's sweetness had been replaced by a chilling coldness. Mr. Satan saw it too. That wasn't the gentle boy he knew. In control, Baby had tasted power, and now he craved more. At the Sun household, Gohan returned for a rare family visit. Concerned by rumors about Goten, Chi-Chi insisted on having everyone together, but the reunion was tainted from the very start. Goten arrived with a blank stare. The warmth he once had was gone. In its place, pure arrogance. It didn't take long for Gohan to realize that energy, it was evil. The attack came without warning. No words, no hesitation. Gohan tried to hold back, still clinging to hope. But this wasn't a brotherly fight. side. It was something far darker. It was Baby. During the clash, Baby revealed his plan. He had scoured Goten's memories and discovered that Gohan would make an even stronger host. This was the next step in his domination. Piccolo attempted to intervene. It was no use. Not even his experience was enough. Then Baby unveiled his origin. He was a Tuffle, whose race had been exterminated by the Saiyan ancestors. His hatred was inherited, and when Gohan unleashed his power to protect his brother, he created the opening Baby had been waiting for. He leapt into his new host, and the possession was devastating. Gohan fell. Goten, now freed, lay unconscious, and Piccolo, left alone to face a nightmare that knew the secrets of every warrior on Earth. With Gohan and Goten under his control, Baby moved on to his ultimate target, Vegeta. Nothing seemed threatening that day. Vegeta, the proudest warrior in the galaxy, was carrying shopping bags alongside Bulla, listening to her talk about fashion like any ordinary dad, until Gohan showed up. But those eyes, they weren't Gohan's. There was something evil in them, and Vegeta sensed the danger immediately. The attack was swift. Vegeta shielded Bulla and told her to run. It was time to fight. Speaking through Gohan, Baby revealed everything. He was the last of the Tuffles, and this revenge was personal. He wanted to wipe out the Saiyans using their own bodies. Vegeta didn't listen. He went all in. Then Goten arrived. Now both of them were attacking with surgical precision. Vegeta held his ground, but as he unleashed his full power, he made the same mistake Gohan did. Baby left Gohan's body and lunged at his new target. Vegeta's mind became a battlefield, but Baby wasn't after just physical control. He wanted to shatter his pride, erase the prince, and he succeeded. The transformation was complete. The most powerful body on Earth was now his new armor, and with Vegeta's memories, he had access to every strategic secret of the Z fighters. But his plan didn't stop there. Baby wasn't just out for revenge. He wanted a galactic empire. He wanted to reshape the entire universe in his image. Goku is finally back home, with Pan bubbling with excitement, and Trunks in full-on cool and calculated mode. But there's a small catch to this earthly return. The planet is a total mess. At the lookout, the welcome is warm, the kind that almost makes you forget the world is falling apart. Goku decides not to use the Black Star Dragon Balls again. Why? Because even with the face of a kid, he's got more sense than most grown-ups. His decision, seal the Dragon Balls. His priority, save the planet before it turns into a Walking Dead spin-off. Speaking of zombies, Mr. Satan reappears out of nowhere after months at the weirdest Airbnb ever, inside Majin Buu. He came out with a wild revelation. A creature named Baby tried to infect Buu, but backed off because he didn't like the taste. Yes, even parasites have picky palates. Meanwhile, something feels off at Goku's house. Chi-Chi and Goten aren't exactly baking a welcome back cake. Gohan and Goten, with eyes glowing like truck headlights, ambush Goku with all the affection of a possessed Tuffle. And they're not alone. Across the city, Vegeta, or rather Baby Vegeta, reveals that the apocalypse has already begun. Earth is infected. The heroes fell one by one, and Baby, now in his Super Baby form, a villain name with an ego to match, is so powerful he makes Super Saiyan 3 look like a cheap convention cosplay. And the worst part, the enemy is now family. Literally, Goku isn't just fighting villains, he's fighting his own. The brawl between Goku and Baby Vegeta is so brutal, even gravity taps out. Baby, with that smug glint in his eye like he owns the truth, is hell-bent on wiping out Goku using his own father-in-law's body. Classy? Not in his vocabulary. Goku tries to turn the tide by going Super Saiyan 3. The transformation erupts in light and screams, but there's a technical hiccup. His kid-sized body can't handle the load. The result? A power boost with an expiration date. 3 minutes, and then boom, he's toast. As Goku sweats bullets, Baby proves he's more than just muscle. He's a hellborn tactician. Every strike lands with a "take that, you filthy Saiyan." The climax? The revenge death ball, powered by the negative energy of the entire Earth's population, now turned into a Tuffle cult of eternal hate. Out of strength, out of options, Goku takes the hit full force. Explosion. Silence. He vanishes. Majin Buu tries to sense his ki and finds nothing but emptiness. Goku is dead. Baby, now ruler of the planet, raises his fist triumphantly and declares, "The Saiyans are no more. Time to rebuild Planet Plant and play Emperor." Or maybe not. When the body vanished, someone intervened. Kibito Kai. He rescued Goku and threw him into a place even Google Maps wouldn't dare map. The Sugoroku space. There, our hero meets Sugoro, a bizarre creature addicted to deadly board games. And of course, losing means becoming a statistic, powerless, trickless, and armed only with a die that seems to have a will of its own. Goku faces traps straight from the mind of a seriously unhinged screenwriter. Meanwhile, Baby realizes his ultimate dream, to recreate Planet Plant and transfer all the infected folks over there. An alien road trip straight into doomsday. Back on Earth, Pan is sinking into sorrow. Mr. Satan tries to lift everyone's spirits and fails miserably. Majin Buu, he's just an emotional pillow. But somewhere in the weird corners of the universe, Goku is still rolling dice with the devil and starting to suspect that Dai might be cheating. Goku catches the biggest scam in the universe. The Dai is actually Sugoro's son in disguise. Top-tier cheating. The punishment? The entire dimension begins to collapse. Sugoro and his son confess. They were forced to play forever and cheated to try and escape. Fair enough. With everything falling apart, Goku does what he does best. Fires off a Kamehameha so powerful it rips a hole in the fabric of reality. And just like that, the three are rescued by Kibito Kai, landing in the realm of the Kais like it's just another Tuesday. Back on Earth, Pan and the others go for a bold move. They infiltrate the ship transporting the infected to the new planet and use laxatives. Yes, laxatives. Their desperate plan to purge Gohan and Videl leads to an all-out brawl. And just when all hope seems lost, Oob arrives, older, stronger, and madder than ever. Baby is just about to execute Pan when Oob crashes down like a meteor of justice. He hears that Goku has been vaporized, and his blood boils with rage. Baby never expected Goku's disciple to show up burning with this much thirst for vengeance. But Baby, as always, plays dirty. He goes straight for Goku's family. Ruthless, no mercy. Meanwhile, Goku is still training in the realm of the Supreme Kai. The mission, regrow his tail. He method, pliers, the ancient desperate technique of last resorts. Oob takes a brutal beating, but Majin Buu makes a touching sacrifice in a powerful act of friendship. From an unexpected fusion, Majub is born. Ignited with new power, Majub charges at Baby with everything he's got. He nearly turns the villain into chocolate and proves he's far more than a rushed fusion. He's Earth's new hope. Meanwhile, Goku unleashes a scream so powerful it could make a Super Saiyan cry, forcing his tail to regrow, and it works. With his tail back, he returns to the battlefield, only to keep getting knocked down. Something's missing. Then Goku looks down at Earth. He remembers everything, everyone, the anger, the love, the helplessness. They all ignite inside him. With no full moon in sight, he transforms into what no one expected, the Great Ape. The game has changed, but with great power comes a price, and that price is only beginning to show. What was supposed to be the key to victory turns into a brand new problem. On an intergalactic catastrophe level, Goku, barely back on his feet, leaps straight into Golden Great Ape form. The kind of power-up that really should come with an instruction manual. For Baby, the sight of this golden titan isn't just threatening, it's personal. A trauma soaked in the blood of Saiyans and memories of a massacre. But Baby is the apex predator now. The prey has become the hunter, and he's ready to wipe the past off the map, literally. Goku, on the other hand, is lost. In this monstrous ape mode, he recognizes no one, not even Pan. The girl stands her ground against her grandfather's wild instincts, begging for his soul to break through the beast. Meanwhile, in the realm of the Kais, a revelation emerges. Goku is stuck in a botched transformation, a cosmic hack job. Cutting off the tail might fix it, but it would also mean losing their only weapon against Baby. Still, there's a sliver of hope. If Goku can remember who he is, he might ascend to a new level, maybe even Super Saiyan 4. Pan tries everything. She shows him the outfit he gave her, reminds him of their time together. Nothing works. Until something shifts in his ki, he begins to float completely unstable, as if something else is trying to rise from within that golden shell. In the midst of chaos, one tear, Pan, utterly desperate, screams, and something inside that monster hears her. A strange silence falls, like the universe itself is holding its breath. Then it happens. The Golden Great Ape stops. Its fur begins to change. The body reshapes, and from the ashes of primal instinct, a new form emerges. It's not just power, it's fierce elegance and absolute awareness. A new Goku, a Goku with purpose. He locates Baby effortlessly, and the rematch begins. This time, it's Baby who's getting tossed around. Trying to turn the tide, the villain plays his card, reminding Goku that the body he's attacking belongs to Vegeta. But Goku doesn't fall for the drama. He knows Vegeta too well to be tricked by that cheap move. In a panic, Bulma triggers a technological hack, artificial blood waves. No tail? Doesn't matter. Engineering will force the transformation, and it works. But just like Goku, Baby is golden too. He's deformed, deranged, and seething with hatred. Goku faces the new beast, and a chilling doubt sets in. Not even Super Saiyan 4 might be enough. The battle turns into a spectacle of destruction. Mountains implode, cities are reduced to dust, and even Baby's own followers flee the battlefield. The giant ape seems unstoppable, but only seems, because Baby is just putting on a show. The beast is a facade. The villain's mind remains intact, analyzing, scheming, kidding. It was all a test. Now he goes all in. Raw power and ruthless strategy. A deadly combo. The brawl escalates into full-on war. Baby tries to crush Goku like a rag doll, and even uses the Saiyan's loved ones as bait. Goku erupts with fury, but Baby ups the ante. He positions Earth right behind him, forcing Goku to choose, strike and win, or spare the planet. As always, Goku chooses the greater good. He unleashes an ultimate Kamehameha. The blast shakes the world, but Baby emerges from the smoke almost unscathed. "I'm immortal," he growls. Exhausted, battered, but still standing, Goku faces the inevitable. Baby charges up a super Gallic gun aimed straight at Earth, and once again, Goku makes his choice. The planet. The explosion engulfs them both. Scorched Earth. Goku and Baby lie sprawled on the ground. The warrior is exhausted. Baby too. The ultimate Kamehameha finally dealt real damage, but Goku can barely move. Baby still tries to play the dominant one, but his body betrays the truth. He's falling apart from the inside. Goku notices. His enemy is crumbling, but he doesn't have the strength anymore either. That's where Supreme Kai's Plan B comes in. The sacred Supreme Water, a legendary liquid said to have the power to purify even parasites. The young Supreme Kai embarks on a suicide mission, confronting an infected Dende and Mr. Popo. Amid the chaos, fate intervenes, and the miraculous water spills on them. Dende and Popo return to normal. Trunks is healed. Soon, Gohan and Goten follow, but Baby hasn't been idle. Bulma keeps feeding the villain with Blutz waves. He transforms once more into a great ape, now more grotesque than ever. Goku can barely move, but he persists. A feint, just a distraction. Baby notices. He's about to crush him. Then, Pan steps into the line of fire. Baby mocks her, but before disaster strikes, Trunks arrives, and right after that, Gohan and Goten, all united and free. It's time for the final plan. Channel all Saiyan energy into Goku. Baby tries to stop them, but he's got a small problem inside him. Oob, who was deliberately absorbed, starts sabotaging the villain from within, though Baby manages to force him out. Trunks, Gohan, Goten, and Pan lend their energy. Baby fires a desperate super Gallic gun. Everything crumbles. And then, light. Goku re-emerges, cloaked in golden flames, shielding Pan in his arms. Super Saiyan 4 is back, complete, unstoppable. Goku warns that if he comes any closer, the energy radiating from his power will scorch him. His aura alone is now a weapon. And now, face to face with Baby, there are no more bluffs. The ultimate battle begins. Super Saiyan 4 versus Giant Ape Baby.
You don't realize who I am. You see the stream before you and mistake that for the source. This form is nothing, baby.
Baby unleashes everything he's got. Super Gallic gun, energy blasts, the infamous final revenge death ball. But Goku doesn't just withstand it, he absorbs the energy. Then, he strikes back with the ultimate Kamehameha. The impact is brutal, but Baby holds his ground. But now he knows. The countdown has begun. He tries to escape Vegeta's body. Goku waits for the perfect moment, and he hits it. Baby, in his original and pitiful form, is hurled straight into the sun. No chance for redemption.
His energy signal has disappeared. It's finally over.
With the threat eliminated, the ultra-sacred water purifies Earth. Gohan delivers the cure to the planet of the Tuffles. Everything seems resolved, until Mr. Popo drops the bomb. The Dragon Balls have vanished. Baby took them all. The victory over Baby felt like the happy ending everyone needed for about 5 minutes. Then came the catch. The ultimate Dragon Balls had sealed Earth's fate. The planet was about to explode, literally. Just one of those fine print side effects nobody ever reads. The solution? Mass evacuation. Vegeta took charge and suggested, let's all move to Planet Plan. Crazy plan, but it was either that or blow up with the planet. Getting billions of people off their couches? That was a job for Mr. Satan. He appeared on TV doing his Messiah of Earth routine, and miraculously, it worked. Amid the evacuation chaos, just when things seemed under control, Goku, exhausted, reverts to his base form. And that's when Piccolo stood up, eyes filled with quiet resolve. The kind of look that says he's already made up his mind to die. He said he was staying, that he had to put an end to the ultimate Dragon Ball cycle, which were still tied to him, the former great demon king. It was the end of an era. Gohan tried to argue, but Piccolo was already in final mission mode. Earth turned into a blazing fireball, and Piccolo went with it. Thanks to the Namekian Dragon Balls, the planet came back, but the whole Piccolo left behind. No dragon could fix that. In the other world, two villains decided that dying was no excuse to rest. Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew bonded over their mutual hatred for Goku, and started plotting their next nightmare. Their plan, one, the kind only interns on caffeine would dream up, open a portal between Hell and Earth. The key? 2 Android 17s, one in each realm. This connection would become a free pass to unleash chaos. Meanwhile, all Goku wanted was a peaceful lunch, but then Trunks and Goten show up with bad news. A rogue 17 is on a rampage, and then, boom, the sky tears open. Dead villains begin to appear in droves. Frieza, Cell, and just about every baddie you can imagine. Of course, Goku jumps into action to save the day, but this time it's a trap. He steps through the portal and surprise, gets stuck in Hell, locked away, and out of the game. Gero celebrates. After all, Earth is now without its greatest defender. Somewhere else, gazing at the sky, Pan asks,
"So, how will Grandpa Goku ever get back to us?"
Nobody even had the heart to lie. With Goku stuck in the underworld, the Chaos Party was just getting started. In the depths of Hell, Goku faced a nightmare tag team no one wanted to see again, Cell and Frieza. But they weren't just resurrected, they were upgraded, as if the underworld itself had given them a power boost. And the worst part, they were cocky, mocking Goku's kid-sized body, convinced they had the upper hand. What followed was a masterclass in humiliation. Goku weaved, countered, and mimicked their moves, a true infernal dance. But then the duo played dirty. They activated the Hell's Buster and launched Goku into the most twisted layers of the underworld. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew unleashed Hellfighter 17, and Earth 17, submissive, reprogrammed, haunted. The moment the two androids met, one chilling proposal echoed.
Dear number 18, come to your senses and join with me.
Chaos knocks at the door. Android 17, once a lone wolf, now speaks like a servant. Krillin tries to step in and is sent flying. Marin bursts into tears. Android 18 freezes, caught between shock and fury. The two 17s merge. Light, fire, and darkness swirl together, and Super 17 is born, a digital Frankenstein with a thirst for destruction. Gohan arrives on the scene, unleashing a Kamehameha with everything he's got. Super 17 doesn't even flinch. Meanwhile, in Hell, Goku is about to become a Saiyan popsicle. His salvation? Piccolo, of course. Pretending to be a villain, he pulled off a grand entrance and finally reached Goku. Together, they begin plotting a plan to open a new portal. Super 17 is turning the Z warriors into museum exhibits. Nothing works against him. Not a scratch. In Hell, Piccolo and Dende come up with a crazy plan based on energy synchronization. Goku recalls an absurd trick he once used with Pan, a ridiculous song to sync their auras. Yes, that actually opened a portal, and the craziest part, it worked. But to keep the portal open, Piccolo would have to stay behind. Another sacrifice. Back on Earth, Super 17 is about to defeat Vegeta. Pan steps in to shield him. She discovers that Mew betrayed Gero, and that he's the one controlling the android. That's when Goku reappears.
Ha! No thanks. I've spent more than enough time in Hell. Besides, the food there was terrible.
The crowd goes wild. Super 17 laughs. The final battle begins. Goku gives it everything he's got. Punches, kicks, Kamehameha. Super 17 absorbs it all. Energy becomes fuel. Goku starts to lose control. He transforms into Super Saiyan 4. Now the hits finally connect, but the android keeps absorbing, like a walking battery. Dr. Mew reveals the truth. Super 17 was built for this. The more damage he takes, the stronger he gets. Goku even tries a Kamehameha ultimate. The result? Nothing. Panic sets in. Not even instant transmission can save him. Super 17 predicts every move. Goku is cornered. But then, voices emerge from the smoke, and not all hope is lost. Amid the destruction, a moment of comic relief. Videl is at the controls, while Chi-Chi is having a meltdown. Meanwhile, Goku resorts to a desperate final move, a kamikaze hug to lock Super 17 in place. It looks like the end, but then, Android 18 appears, furious and bluffing, claiming she still has the bomb Dr. Gero implanted in her. Super 17 hesitates. Dr. Mew screams. Android 18 taunts, and just as the android lowers his guard, Dragon Fist, Goku drives straight through his enemy's chest, then unleashes a Kamehameha that obliterates everything. Super 17 is defeated. Android 18 dedicates the victory to Krillin. Peace returns, for now, but the Dragon Balls will be summoned once again, because someone always has to clean up the mess. After putting a spectacular end to Dr. Mew's grotesquely overambitious schemes, Goku and company seem to finally spot a light at the end of the tunnel, or at least an LED flashlight in the middle of a blackout. The mission? Gather the 7 Dragon Balls and bring Earth back to life. Like piecing together a cosmic 7-piece jigsaw puzzle, except there was a catch. The orbs were in worse shape than political promises, cracked, dimmed, and radiating an ominous energy. Still, Goku, with the unwavering faith of someone who's already weathered about 87 apocalypses, calls upon Shenron, but what emerges isn't our old wish-granting pal. It's a nightmare in the form of a serpent, an arrogant being who not only refuses to grant any wishes, but pulverizes the Dragon Balls in a dazzling display of chaos and contempt. Then comes the bombshell. Elder Kai explains that the overuse of the Dragon Balls had built up so much negative energy, it became a ticking spiritual time bomb. The result, 7 evil dragons, each born from a supposedly noble wish, wishes that, deep down, only made the cosmic balance worse. Bulma, out of patience, pins the blame on Goku, who takes it with the zen of someone used to being scolded for destroying galaxies. Mission accepted: defeat the 7 dragons and clean up the mystical mess. Pan, of course, insists on tagging along, and Giru resumes his role as the grouchy GPS. First stop, a toxic lake steeped in legends of a monster. From the reeking swamp rises Shenron, a scaly oaf who thinks he's the strongest of them all. Pan, with her no-nonsense attitude, dives straight into battle. At first, the fight is a joke. Pan completely embarrasses the creature with ease. But Goku, seasoned by too many bad surprises, smells something fishy, and he's right. Bit by bit, both fighters start losing energy for no clear reason. Then comes the twist. The entire lake is releasing a poisonous mist, fed by negative energy. A sneaky, dirty trick, and as if that weren't enough, the dragon reveals his origin. He was born from the wish to revive Upa's father. A noble request, now twisted into a toxic nightmare. With both of them knocked out and about to become compost for the swamp, Giru discovers a spring of pure water. Goku uses it to cleanse their bodies and turn the tables. Rejuvenated, Goku and Pan unleash a vicious assault, purify the 2-star ball, and fish it out of the filthy depths. It's their first win, but it leaves a bitter taste. With the first Dragon Ball in the bag, Goku tries to send Pan back home. Unsurprisingly, she refuses. Giru, ever the deadpan droid, announces, "Danger level, critical." Translation, trouble's coming. They arrive at a city stripped of light, people, and hope. Total post-tech apocalypse vibes. The culprit, Rage Shenron, the 5-star dragon, a walking blob of electric sludge with more snark than actual power. But unlike the last one, this dragon's got tricks. He absorbs Goku's ultimate Kamehameha and fires it back with interest. Rage Shenron was born from the wish that brought Goku back to life during the Saiyan saga, a symbolic and sinister sibling. Then the rain starts falling, and since the villain is basically sentient electricity, he short-circuits. In one last desperate move, he tries to trick Goku by handing over the Dragon Ball, but gets a fresh Kamehameha to the face instead. Second Dragon Ball purified, but the message is clear: the next dragons won't be playing nice. In a quiet fishing village, something surreal unfolds. Fish start raining from the sky. The villagers rejoice at the miracle of the princess, but Pan and Goku aren't biting. Giru is glitching, and Column, the only one thinking straight, tries to warn everyone. Soon, the mysterious princess reveals her true identity, Oceanus Shenron, the Wind Dragon, and her origin, a wish for a pair of panties. Yes, all this chaos began with Oolong. The dragon spins so fast, she becomes a walking hurricane, impervious to any attack, but a seagull rescued by Column unveils her weakness, the Eye of the Storm. Pan boldly fires a Kamehameha right into the spot. Goku finishes the job. The third Dragon Ball secured, and Pan finally proves she's more than just a tag-along in this journey. The next Dragon Ball is located in an empty lot. Goku and Pan land. Nothing in sight. Suddenly, the ground trembles, and from it emerges Natron Shenron, the Earth Dragon. He's addicted to earthquakes and couldn't care less about fighting. Goku decides to strike back by fixing everything he destroyed. That drives the dragon mad, and the battle begins. His attacks come from underground, unpredictable, until they realize he's completely useless in the air. It seems like they've got him. But then comes the twist. Natron Shenron reveals the body they were fighting was just a puppet. The real dragon takes possession of Pan's body. Now, Goku faces the ultimate dilemma. Fighting his own possessed granddaughter, Goku hesitates. Natron Shenron, now possessing Pan's body, unleashes a barrage of attacks, including a Kamehameha. The cruelty reaches new heights. But in a fleeting moment of clarity, Pan pleads, "End me before I end you." Those words are the trigger. Goku ascends to Super Saiyan 4, driven by a pain no previous transformation had ever carried, and yet he still holds back. Until Pan, realizing their intent, shouts,
Grandpa, be strong. I don't want to live like this!
The blast lands, but Naturon Shenron survives. He reveals Goku held back at the last second, but then Goku spots an opening. With surgical precision, he separates the dragon from Pan's body. She's alive, weak, but free, and with the emotional restraint out of the way, the fight becomes an execution. Every strike lands with purpose, for the false dragon, the ruined city, and Pan. A final Kamehameha ends the nightmare. The fourth Dragon Ball is recovered, but the cost won't be forgotten so easily. The Dragon Balls are almost all gathered, but of course, the closer you get to the finish line, the wilder it gets. Goku and Pan are still on the hunt, racing against time. And the heat? Let's just say it's decided to go full solar surface mode, in the middle of an abandoned city that feels more like a microwave left out on the sun. He appears Nuova Shenron, a shadow dragon with the poise of a noble and the look of someone who already knows he's about to humiliate everyone. Pan tries to play fearless, but she gets knocked out like a soap opera finale. No warning, no words, just pure shade. Goku gets the message. This dragon is playing in a whole different league. Worse, his body is scorching at 6,000 degrees Celsius. Just getting close is enough to start a barbecue. Oh, and he can vanish his ki too. Goku throws everything he's got. Attacks, strategies, dodging between buildings, even hiding beneath what's left of his dignity. Nothing works, just burns in frustration. Then comes that what-if moment. Goku realizes the heat rays are being focused like through a lens. Using the environment, he whips up an improvised Solar Fist Supreme that catches the dragon off guard. Almost worked, almost. But then, Nuova Shenron decides to shed his thermal shield and reveal that his serious mode is nightmare level. Goku gets the hint, either go Super Saiyan 4 or get turned into grilled meat. Transformed, his body finally tough enough to handle the inferno, Goku faces the dragon in a season finale-worthy showdown. Raw power against incinerated pride. And yeah, the sky's about to catch fire for real. While the battle rages on in the scorching desert, someone watches from afar. Vegeta, the eternal second fiddle, the prince of almosts. He sees Goku in Super Saiyan 4, standing tall and mighty, and his blood starts to boil. Memories flash. The first beatdown, Kaioken times 4, the Gallic gun swallowed whole, and the most humiliating of all, mercy. Goku spared him. Bad move. Since then, it's been a constant chase after Kakarot. By the time Vegeta became a Super Saiyan, Goku had already left. When he returned, he had reached Super Saiyan 3. During the Majin Buu saga, Vegeta sold his soul for power, but even that wasn't enough. A draw, a disguised defeat. Now, watching his rival shine once again, pride begins to scream, and that's when Bulma steps in, eyes gleaming with a plan and a brand new device. Blutz waves. If Goku made it, Vegeta will too, with style and control. For the first time in ages, Vegeta feels something close to hope. That familiar spark returns to his eyes. He asks Bulma for the device, wearing that sly smirk that always means trouble, because no, he's not done yet. Goku and Nuova Shenron keep trading blows like titans at war, but then the dragon plays dirty. He reflects Goku's own Kamehameha back at him, turning the fight into a humiliating slow-motion replay. Right before the final strike, everything changes. Literally, the temperature plummets. Enter Ice Shenron, the 3-star dragon, colder than an ex's heart, more treacherous than a reality show plot twist. He shows up carrying an unconscious Pan, steals the Dragon Balls, and freezes Goku solid, every last hair. Then, with sheer audacity, he asks his own brother to finish the Saiyan off. Goku's frozen, Nuova Shenron's honor crumbling, but the 4-star dragon has a shred of dignity left. He refuses, he snaps, and turns on his brother. Goku breaks free, and now the weather shifts again, this time a storm of rage. 5 seconds. That's all Goku promised to end the traitor dragon's charade, and he delivers. Even blind, yeah, shot to the eyes, he senses Ice Shenron's ki like the stench of cowardice. The final blow comes on instinct, and Ice Shenron is shattered, but what should have been a moment of redemption doesn't last. Wounded and betrayed, Nuova Shenron offers Goku a healing item. All he wants is a fair rematch. But fate has other plans. Omega Shenron, the ultimate dragon, arrives, subtle as a meteor. Nuova Shenron turns to dust, effortlessly. Goku watches, helpless, and then the truth hits. All these dragons were born from the overuse of the Dragon Balls. They're not villains, they're consequences, and that changes everything. Goku unleashes an ultimate Kamehameha, fueled by pure fury. Omega Shenron takes the hit like he's standing under a waterfall. 0 damage, maximum disdain. If that's all you've got, it's over. And it's not just trash talk, it's the cold truth. Goku, at his peak, looks like a toy in the face of the ultimate dragon's power. And here's the kicker. Every miracle, every wish, fed this thing. Omega Shenron is the dark debt of hope. Pan watches, helpless. Her grandpa, the one who always pulled through, is being crushed by something he helped create. Her cry for help cuts through everything: space, time, and pride. She calls out for help from everyone, but the harsh truth is, this time, not even Goku might be enough. Pan's scream echoes beyond the world of the living, and the beyond answers. Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Oob arrive, drawn by the grotesque ki of Omega Shenron, not as unbeatable warriors, but as a desperate family. Earth lies in ruins, and only a miracle, or a Goku, can prevent total collapse. The plan: transfer energy to Goku. One final collective breath. Omega Shenron tries to stop them, but it's a massacre. Gohan, Trunks, and Goten fall one by one, but Goku, between gasps, teleports, rescues his friends, and absorbs their energy. A transformation, an ascension. Super Saiyan 4 is reborn. More than that, it transcends. Goku wants more. He asks for everything, and even with Gohan warning him he could die, Goku doesn't back down. Oob steps in, blocking an attack, and sacrifices himself, buys just enough time, and at the perfect moment, Goku is reborn as Super Saiyan 4, at full power. The tide of battle shifts. Even blind, Goku weaves through his enemy's blows like a dancer. Every step is a threat, every dodge a warning. This just got real. The final Kamehameha feels like the perfect ending. Omega Shenron is obliterated. Earth breathes again. But this is Dragon Ball. From the ashes, Pan finds a Dragon Ball, and with it, the nightmare. Omega Shenron survived, and now, he's absorbed all 7 Dragon Balls. Every defeated dragon lives within him. The new monster twists reality, and promises the end. Goku had already squeezed out every last drop of power his body could handle. On the other side stood a monstrosity named Omega Shenron, now a nightmarish fusion of all the shadow dragons, flaunting arrogance and devastation with a cocktail of attacks ranging from freezing blasts to radioactive sludge. It was like a gourmet menu of destruction. Stubborn as always, Goku still fought back, but the signs were clear. His vision was failing, his body trembling. The end seemed inevitable. Then, like a scene straight out of a B-grade action flick, he faked a collapse just to land the legendary Dragon Fist, a blow that looked final. The cursed creature regenerated, and to top it off, it unleashed electric slime, courtesy of Rage Shenron. The script now tilted toward full-on tragic drama. Goku made a desperate choice. He began converting his life force into a suicide bomb, a death by explosion, worthy of a soap opera climax. But then came the saving voice. Stop this nonsense. Vegeta, the prince of sarcasm and pride, burst onto the scene, with Bulma in tow and a handy little Bruuce wave device, the latest tech upgrade. The mission: to become a Super Saiyan 4 himself. And so it happens. The sky darkens, the planet nearly turns into a blender. Vegeta transforms into a giant golden great ape, but unlike Goku, he stays in control, because of course, he's Vegeta. With an ego as massive as his power, Vegeta emerges as Super Saiyan 4. Now we had 2 gods of battle ready to throw down, but even that wasn't enough, and then he drops the bombshell.
There's no need when there's fusion.
Goten and Trunks were more nervous than fans in a championship final, and with good reason. The fusion of 2 Super Saiyan 4s would be like the last cosmic cookie in the jar, but of course the big dragon wasn't about to let that happen easily. He started throwing everything he had to disrupt the ritual. Goten and Trunks, poor things, turned into deluxe extras, just trying to buy time by holding off the villain. And right in the middle of the chaos, the dance begins. A blinding flash takes over everything, and from the heart of that energy explosion, he appears. Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, the perfect blend of swagger and sheer power. Omega Shenron instantly feels the weight of the trouble he's in, and Gogeta, well, Gogeta plays around. He takes hits like he's soaking in a bubble bath, cracks jokes asking for a massage, and still finds time to taunt the enemy, but that was just the warm-up. Gogeta decides it's time to bring the house down. He charges up 5 simultaneous Kamehamehas. The message is clear: leave nothing but ashes. Omega Shenron panics and counters with a massive energy sphere filled with every bad vibe in existence, a ball of pure chaos, powered by no coffee, Monday traffic, and bad reboots of classic films. But Gogeta, he solves it with a kick. Yep, a kick. He redirects the attack and even turns all that negative energy into something positive. The result? Earth purified, Dragon exposed, Gogeta ready to fire the Big Bang Kamehameha. But the fusion time runs out, and Gogeta vanishes into thin air. Goku and Vegeta are back, separate, exhausted, and the enemy still standing. In other words, everything they achieved, gone. And just to twist the knife comes the cruel explanation: Super Saiyan 4 fusion lasts less than a weekend. Naturally, Goku regrets the joke. Vegeta wants to break everything, especially his fusion partner. Omega Shenron laughs in their faces, and once again, despair takes center stage. The dragon is determined to gather the Dragon Balls and restore his full power. But there's one catch. The 4-star ball is still with Goku. And what does he do? He swallows it. Yes, Goku, our hero who clearly doesn't read labels, decides to gulp it down like it's a headache pill. Vegeta has an existential breakdown, and the fight kicks off again. No fusion, and the villain goes berserk every time they try to do that silly dance again. Meanwhile, the Supreme Kais just watch from afar, because divine intervention is apparently just for show. The battle turns into a clumsy dance of trial and error. The tension was slicing through the air. Goku and Vegeta, completely drained after failing miserably at every single fusion attempt, still tried to sync their steps like two clumsy dancers about to tumble off the stage. Only this stage was the edge of the universe, and the audience was a sadistic, impatient dragon named Omega Shenron. With each misstep in their fusion dance, Omega Shenron closed in like a shark circling two bleeding prey, until, on the final attempt, Goku regressed. Literally. Instead of turning into a legendary warrior, he turned into a kid. No energy, no transformation, no future. It finally hit Vegeta. Without Super Saiyan, there's no fusion. Without fusion, there's no salvation. Omega Shenron, of course, was ready to end the party. But that's when the script dropped a meme-worthy, what the hell moment. From Goku's forehead emerged a light, not a brilliant idea, but the 4-star Dragon Ball, and with it reappeared Nuova Shenron. For a second, the battlefield turned into a silent funeral. Everyone was trying to process what just happened, and Goku, still a bit dazed, didn't even notice the Dragon Ball embedded in his forehead. Nuova Shenron looked different, but how? Darker, colder, more corrupted. Goku tried the emotional route, the classic "remember who you are" speech, but Omega Shenron just laughed like a Disney villain. The dragon was back, and now on the wrong side of the story. The attack came, fast, brutal. Nuova Shenron lunged at Vegeta, but something was off. He was holding back, literally holding the punches, like he was acting. Then came the Oscar-worthy plot twist. It was all a plan. An elaborate ruse between Goku and Nuova Shenron to catch Omega Shenron off guard. In a suicide move, Nuova Shenron unleashed the burning spin, trapping the enemy in a swirling prison of blazing energy. Think intergalactic microwave. Inside that fiery vortex, insults and threats flew freely, but there was only one goal: drag the cursed dragon into the abyss with him. The world shook. Silence, hope, and disappointment. Omega Shenron, the bastard, survived. Worse, he took over Nuova Shenron's body at the exact moment of the explosion, and with that, he absorbed Shishinko. The result? Final form, supreme power, ego inflated to god of destruction levels. On the other side, Goku is exhausted. Vegeta, desperate. The blitz waves are gone. No fusion, no transformation, nothing left. Just the bitter certainty that the universe now belonged to the worst being imaginable. But hell was just getting started. Goku and Vegeta had only one card left to play: fusion, again. But the size difference between the two made the fusion dance look more like a circus act than a real solution. No chance. Omega Shenron, now so arrogant he'd make Frieza look modest, announces his new hobby: blowing up planets, starting with Earth. Goku doesn't think, he acts, and how? He throws his body in front of the attack. A blinding flash swallows everything, and then nothing. Goku is gone. Silence. Tears. A universe without Goku. Vegeta steps up, not as the protagonist, but as the desperate one. He orders Earth's evacuation like a commander who knows his troops won't make it, and in the midst of the chaos, he utters the purest truth of all: Earth is our home, and it's worth every drop of blood spilled for it. Death has always been a relative concept for Goku, and, like so many times before, he returns, exhausted, but standing, and with one final idea: the spirit bomb. Arms raised, hope summoned from across the universe. Planets, galaxies, all answer. The energy coalesces into the largest spirit bomb ever seen, a sun of justice about to end the darkness. And it does. But the price is steep. Shenron appears, but not to grant wishes. This time, he's here to deliver an ultimatum. The use of the Dragon Balls has thrown the balance off. The end has come. The Dragon Balls vanish, and Goku goes with them. But first, one last request. Bring back everyone who died in this insane war. A noble wish. No ego, no excess. The wish is granted. Goku climbs onto Shenron's back like one beginning a new cycle, a new plane of existence. But before leaving, he stops to say goodbye. Vegeta gets a glance that says it all. Krillin and Master Roshi share a moment of old times. Piccolo gets a firm handshake. Two warriors, now brothers. And Goku departs. hearts. On Earth, his absence becomes legend. Chi-Chi still prepares dinner, as if he might walk in any moment. Pan finds her grandfather's kimono and understands everything, not with words, but with her heart. Years later, at the Junior World Tournament, a new boy steps into the ring. Goku? Not quite. Someone new, but still him. Across the arena, someone bearing Vegeta's DNA. The rivalry is reborn, but this time, it's pure. No hatred, no wars, only the future. Pan, now an elderly woman, swears she saw Goku in the crowd, and who are we to doubt her? An era comes to an end, but the symbol will live on forever. Goku isn't just a warrior. He's spiky-haired hope, and he's still here, in the spirit of everyone who learned to fight, to fall, and to rise again. Until we meet again.